students, we are at AriserTalent and I'm your chemistry teacher. So we are on the first chapter of our chemistry, that is chemical reactions and equation. In our previous lecture, we have gone through a lot of questions regarding this chapter which were completely balanced or which were completely depends upon the balancing of the chemical equation, that how the balancing of the chemical equation can be done. Now we are going to discuss many more questions related to this chapter which are important from your competitive exam of point of view as well as board exam point of view. So our next question is, write the balanced chemical equation for the chemical reactions. So now what we have provided, we are given with zinc carbonate and zinc oxide. So our first question is zinc carbonate gives zinc oxide plus carbon dioxide. Now what we have to do is we have to write the complete balance equation for this statement. Now the complete statement will be zinc carbonate is ZnCO3, zinc oxide is ZnO, and carbon dioxide is CO2. Now look at here, we are provided with one atom of zinc in the LHS side of the equation, one zinc in the RHS side. Number of carbon atoms in the reactant side is 1, number of carbon atoms in the product side is also 1. But number of oxygen atoms, this side is 3 and this side we are getting 2. Now it will not be possible to make 3 as a 2 and 2 as a 3. So what we will do, we will make 3 into 2, that is equal to 6. So what I can do here, I will write 2 over here. For balancing this equation, I have to put 3 over here. Now look at here, we have 2 atoms of zinc, 2 atoms of carbon and 6 atoms of oxygen. So oxygens are balanced here, but what we are provided with one oxygen atom more. So this will not be the complete balance equation. So we will again balance the following equation. So here zinc atom is 1, again zinc here is 1, carbon here is 1, again 1, oxygen is 3 and again oxygen there are 2 plus 1, that is equal to 3. It means this equation is a complete balanced equation for the decomposition of zinc carbonate. So the correct solution of this equation will be this. Now we are on our second question, potassium bromide. So we have a formula for potassium bromide, that is equal to potassium means K and bromide means Br. Now we are reacting with it with barium iodide. Barium iodide means BaI2. The product we are getting is barium bromide. So the product is barium bromide. Now what happens in this equation? Barium react with bromide and we also get Ki in the reaction, that is equal to potassium iodide. Now balancing the equation, we have K, that is equal to 1 in the reactant side. Again we are having K, 1 in the product side. Now comparing bromine ions, here bromine ions are 1, here bromine atoms are 2, here barium is 1, here barium is also 1, iodine is 2 and iodine here is 1. Now by considering this equation, what we can see here, this equation is not balanced because the barium and iodine ions are not balanced in the equation. So what we will do, we will balance the equation by putting some coefficient to calculate the total number of the atoms. So we have I2 here 2, so I am putting 2 over this side. Now potassium will be equal to 2, so we will do 2 here. Now bromine 2, potassium 2, barium equal to 1, that is equal to 1 in this side, and iodine equal to 2, again we are getting iodine equal to 2 in this side. So the complete balance equation for this question will be this. So this is the correct solution for this question. So here it is a complete balancing of the equation that we have discussed. If you want to copy it, please copy it now. Now coming to our next question. We have to balance the following equations. So we have discussed a lot of questions about the balancings. It means balancing is important from both the exam point of view, that is board as well as competitive exam. So we are balancing the given equations. Our equation number 1 is HGO gives Hg plus O2. This equation is, now we will do the balancing of the particular equation here. So we will calculate the number of atoms. Here Hg is 1, again here Hg is 1. Now look at O and O here. We are provided with oxygen atoms. Here oxygen atom is 1, here oxygen atom is 2. Now what we will do, we will try to balance the oxygen atom. So I will put 2 over here. Now the oxygen are balanced, but Hg will become 1 and here it is 2. So I am again writing 2 here. So the complete balance equation for this question will be 2HGO gives 2Hg plus O2. This is the correct answer. Now we are coming to our next question, that is C4H10 plus O2 gives CO2 plus H2O. Now comparing the number of each atoms on the both the side of the equation, what we have seen here is number of carbon atoms in the left hand side of the equation is 4. Here it is 1. Number of hydrogen atoms here are 10. Here we have 2. Oxygen atom we have 2 here and oxygen atom here we have 3. Now firstly balance the carbon atoms. Carbon here is 4. So what I have to do, I have to put 4 over here. Now oxygen atoms will become 4 into 2 8 and 8 plus 1 9. Oxygen are imbalanced. Now firstly we will try to balance the hydrogen atoms. H10 and here H2. So I will put 5 over here. So if I look at this equation, we have carbon 4 here, carbon 4 here. It means carbons are completely balanced. Now we are comparing H10, H10 here, 5 into 2, 10 here. Now coming to our oxygen atoms, we have 2 oxygen atoms in this equation and here we have 4 into 2, 8 and 8 plus 5, 13. Now it won't be possible to make 13 and 2 as a common denominator or common HCF. So what we will do, we will try to balance the oxygen atom. So I will multiply here by 13 by 2. So the correct equation is C4H10 plus 13 by 2 O2 gives 4 CO2 plus 5 H2O. So this will be the correct solution of the equation. That it means it is a complete balanced equation. Now we are on our third problem, that is barium chloride react with aluminium sulfate to give aluminium chloride and barium sulfate. So we will write the equation here. So our third question is BaCl2, that is barium chloride. It is reacting with Al2SO4 whole thrice. It gives AlCl3 plus BaSO4. So students, have you observed which kind of the chemical reaction it is? It is the kind of double displacement reaction, because in this reaction there is an exchange between the two kind of atoms. It means there is a mutual exchange between the two kind of the atom. Now what we will do, we will try to balance this equation to get the actual equation. So again I am writing here barium atoms. So the number of barium atoms we have here is barium 1 and barium 1. So 1, 1. Now we are on chlorine atoms. Chlorine atom I have here is 2. In RHS it is 3. Aluminium atom here I have 2. Here I have 1. Now coming to the sulfate atoms, we have SO4, 3 here and 1 here. Now what we will do, we will try to balance this equation. Firstly, we have Ba1, that is correct. Cl2 here is 2 and Cl3 is here 3. So we can't make 2 as a 3 and 3 as a 2. So the complete LCM will be 6. So I will put 3 over here and 2 over here. Now the barium will be 3, so I have to put 3 over here. But firstly we will balance the chlorine atoms. 2 into 3 6, 3 into 2 6. So the chlorine atoms balanced as 6, 6. Now coming to our aluminium atoms, we are provided with 2 aluminium atoms here and 2 Al here. So again we have 2, 2. It means chlorine is balanced, aluminium is balanced. Now we are balancing the sulfate ions. Sulfate ions we have 3 here and in RHS side we have only 1 sulfate atom. So what I am doing here, I am substituting 3 over here. So we will get 3, 3. It means 3, 3 is balanced now. Now again coming to the barium atoms, we have 3 barium atoms in the LHS side and 3 barium atoms on the RHS side of the equation. So again the barium will be 3, 3. So all the 4 conditions are satisfied here. So we can say that this equation is a complete balanced equation. So the correct answer is this. So we have the 3 problems and these are the 3 solutions of these equations. If you want to copy it, please copy it now. Now coming to our next problem, we have what information do we get from a chemical equation? Explain with example. So what information do we get from a chemical equation? This topic has been discussed in our previous classes, but for a quick recap, I am again telling you what is the significance of chemical equation. So firstly, chemical equation tell us about the nature of the element, it will tell us about the number of atoms, it will tell us about the reactant and product, it will also tell us about the temperature condition, and it helps to identify what sort of chemical equation is. So what information do we get from a chemical equation? So we have to write significance of chemical equation. So we have many significances of the chemical equation. Firstly, we can identify the nature of element. Nature of element means it helps us to identify whether the element is solid, liquid or gas. Second, it helps us to identify the number of atoms taking part in the reaction. We will get an idea about the number of atoms. Third point, what is the significance of the chemical equation is it gives symbols of element. And it also tells us about the condition of temperature, pressure and catalyst. So what we will get the idea about the condition of temperature, pressure and catalyst. So these are the few significance of the chemical equation we have. Now we will understand the chemical equation with the help of an example. So we have example here. Our first example here is CaCO3, that is solid, on heating gives us CaO, that is also solid, plus CO2, that is gas. So this is the chemical equation and we will know about it, how it is important. So here the chemical equation I have written here is a decomposition of calcium carbonate. So firstly, the symbol give us the name of the element. If I am writing CaCO3, it will be easier to understand that it is the calcium carbonate. Now what I have done here, I am putting delta sign over here. This delta sign indicates that the reactant is heated and the reaction will be the decomposition reaction, that is, it is thermal decomposition. Now what I am getting in the product side, that is CaO plus CO2. CaO is again solid and CO2 is the gas. So what we have been identified here, we will get the nature of the element, number of the element. It means we come to know about the number of atoms that are taking part in the reaction. That is, calcium here is 1, again here it is 1, carbon atom is 1, oxygen is 3, and we are also getting oxygen 3 in this side. So this will be the basic significance of any chemical equation. Now we are on our next question. Identify the substance that are oxidized and reduced. Now consider the following equations and we have to identify which substance has been oxidized and which is reduced. So oxidation is basically the addition of oxygen and reduction is basically the addition of hydrogen. In oxidation we will add electronegative element. In case of reduction we are going to add some electropositive element. Now we will consider these equations one by one. So our first equation is so 3 Mg plus N2 react to give Mg3 plus N2. So what happens in this case? We have N2 given here and N2 is added to Mg and we will get the product that is equal to Mg3 N2. So what will happen in this equation? There is a reduction and Mg reduced to Mg3, so Mg3 will be reduced here. So this will be the example of reduction. Now coming to our next question, we have MnO2 plus 4HCl gives MnCl2 plus 2H2O plus Cl2. Now what we will see in this equation, manganese oxide loses oxygen and MnCl2 is formed and hydrogen is getting oxygen and water is formed. So there is an addition of oxygen. Here there is a addition of oxygen. And what we will see in this case, there is a removal of oxygen. So the case of addition of oxygen is termed as oxidation. So here hydrogen is oxidized and manganese is reduced. And what happens here? There will be the reduction. So this is the oxidation equation and this is the reduction equation in this case. Now coming to our next question, we have question number C, that is 2FeCl3 plus H2S gives 2FeCl2 plus H plus 2HCl. Now what happens in this case? FeCl3 reduce one chlorine atom and FeCl2 is formed. H2S reduce its hydrogen atom and form sulfur. So in this case, what is actually happening here is removal of electronegative element. And what is happening in case of the FeCl3? There will be the loss of electron. So the above equation is the reaction of oxidation and the second equation is the equation of reduction. It means this element is going to be oxidized and this element will going to be reduced. So this will be the correct answer. So I hope from these discussions it has been clear to you that what actually are the oxidation and reduction reactions. Now we are on our next question. What is observed when a solution of potassium iodide is added to a solution of lead nitrate? So what we have provided here, we are given a solution of potassium iodide. We are given with a potassium iodide. Plus what we have to do, we have to add lead nitrate in it. If I put in a potassium iodide and lead nitrate in a test tube, what I am going to get here, we will get lead iodide and potassium nitrate. So this will be the products of the equation. Now this is the word equation and I am expressing it in the symbol form. So what will be the symbol for this equation? Potassium iodide is Ki. Lead nitrate is PbNO3 whole twice. Now what happened in this equation? Lead iodide will form. So it means Pb is going to react with I and K will make a combination with this. So we will get Pbi KNO3 plus Pbi. Now when a solution of potassium iodide is substituted with a lead nitrate solution, we will get a precipitates and the precipitate forms will be in yellow color. So these precipitates will be of the lead iodide. So what we will get here, we will get the yellow precipitate of this reaction and the precipitates will be of the lead iodide. And what we will observe in this equation, potassium will react with NO3 and Pb will react with I. It means there is a mutual exchange between the two kind of atoms, and if there is a mutual exchange between the two kind of atoms, this kind of reaction is known as double displacement reaction. So the reaction is double displacement. So the correct answer here is double displacement reaction and the yellow color precipitate is obtained. So this thing we will observe in this equation. Now what we want to do, we will write this equation in the balanced form. So again comparing the number of atoms, here potassium is 1, again here potassium is 1, iodine is 1, iodine is 1, Pb is 1, Pb is 1, but the nitrate ion in this equation is 2. So balancing the nitrate ions, what I have to do is I have to substitute 2 here. If I am writing 2 here, I have to write 2 here. Now 2K, again I will become 2. So what we have to do? We have to write 2 here. it will form PbI2. So now this equation is completely balanced. K2, I2, Pb will form 2, Pb will form only one atom, NO3 is constituted as a 2 atoms. So this will be the correct chemical equation for this solution. And the reaction is the double displacement reaction in which the yellow color precipitate is formed. So this is the correct solution. If you want to copy it, you can copy it from here. Now coming to our next question, classify the following reaction. So in the following reactions, we have to identify the type of the reaction. The type of the reactions we have discussed in our previous chapter. So now we have a question on these reactions. Our first reaction is N2 plus O2 gives 2NO minus heat. So we have the two categories of the reaction, that is exothermic one and endothermic one. Exothermic reactions are the reactions in which the heat is evolved out, and endothermic reactions are basically those reactions in which heat is taken. So the first category of the reaction will be endothermic. So the correct answer is endothermic reaction. Now 2HgO gives 2Hg plus O2. It means there is a decomposition of the mercuric oxide, and this decomposition will be take place in the case of photo. So it is known as photolytic decomposition. So the correct answer is decomposition. So the reaction is decomposition reaction. Now we have our third question. Na2SO4 react with BaCl2 to give NaCl and BaSO4. So what you have identified in this equation, look at here, Na will react with Cl2 and SO4 is going to react with this. There is a mutual exchange between two kind of atoms. So if there is a mutual exchange between two kind of atom, such type of reactions are known as double displacement reaction. So the third answer is double displacement. Now we have our fourth question. Copper sulfate react with zinc to give zinc sulfate and the copper will be eliminated from the reaction. So the reactions in which more active metal displaces less active metal are termed as displacement reaction. So the correct answer for 4 will be displacement reaction. Now proceeding to our next equation, we have ammonia reacted with HCl to give ammonium chloride. It means there is a addition of something in it. So this kind of reactions are known as addition reaction. So the correct answer here is addition reaction. So these are the answers of these questions. If you want to copy it, you can copy it from here. Now coming to our next question, we have when a white compound X is placed in sunlight, it turns grey. We have to name the reaction and write the balanced chemical equation for this. So if the compound is placed in sunlight and it turns grey, it means there is a kind of photolytic decomposition because it takes place in the presence of sunlight. So the compound which is turning grey, it may be silver chloride or it may be silver bromide. So we have the two options for this. So the compound can be silver chloride or bromide, both. So the compound is AgCl. Now we have to write the balanced equation for it. AgCl will give Ag plus Cl2. Now this reaction take place in the presence of sunlight. So I am writing sunlight over here. To balance this equation, we have to substitute 2 here and 2 here. Now this equation is balanced, and this kind of reactions are known as photolytic decomposition. So the answer is photolytic decomposition. So I hope these answers are clear to you. So these are the some of the problems from our chapter number 1. So this lecture is over for today. We will deal with many more questions in our next lecture. Thank you so much and have a nice day.